Canon Films, the home of high-powered, high-voltage motion picture entertainment. With the screen's biggest spectacles, brightest stars, and boldest lineup of explosive entertainment. We're taking motion picture excitement over the edge and your box office over the top. We're Canon Films, and we're dynamite.
Holidays. It's always the most wonderful time of the year to gather with your family or loved ones over drink, puke, and find an excuse to take one or too many days off of work at your leisure.
Hi, it's Bill Lumberg. It's about 10 o'clock. Yeah, just wondering where you are. Yeah, hi, it's Bill Lumberg again. I just wanted to make sure you knew that we did start at the usual time this morning. Yeah, it isn't a half day or anything like that. So if you could just go ahead and get here as soon as possible, that would be terrific.
Come on, show up hands, people. That's more like it.
Yeah, hi, it's Bill It's
Allowing crazed killers to run wild and rampant on society has been a staple of the modern horror era. When you think about it, it all does make sense. You gather up a group of friends during an all too important holiday, and it's only natural your neighborhood maniac shall slaughter them for, say, a maniac's point of view. When we think of holidays, we always associate that with warm feelings of faith, family, and friends, rather than murder, death, kill. Filmmakers have used a trick to confuse our expectations of the holidays with New Expectations, Invasion USA, and Die Hard ramped up quite the Christmas time bloodshed. Before the birth of slasher film and John Carpenter's Halloween, it was once said that Christmas was the early entry for such Yuletide psychopaths such as Black Christmas, Christmas Evil, Silent Night, and Deadly Night. Yes, regrettably, 4th of July has Uncle Sam. Even Easter-laden horror goose egg with Critters 2, but recent thrown together films have given us absurd holiday films such as Easter Casket and Bunny Kill Kill. Thanksgiving brought us a stuffing of slasher flicks such as Blood Rage and the rampaging turkey flick Thanksgilling. Hey, let's not stop here. Valentine's Day comes with My Bloody Valentine, followed by Canon Films' own Hospital Massacre. St. Patrick's Day made its bed with the Leprechaun franchise. As for April Fools, well, April Fools. Why are you not surprised? Let's not forget to honor thy mother and father with Mother's Day and Father's Day. Even high school kids need some love in this when they prepare for their big prom night. Hey, even your birthdays aren't guaranteed to be safe anymore. Made in part by Happy Birthday to Me and Bloody Birthday. Then for bad luck, you got Friday the 13th. Who should we be blaming for all this holiday hell? True, Black Christmas may have done it first, but it was John Carpenter's groundbreaking film into first person maniac view that made this film a growing trend to come for years. Halloween, made on a budget of $300,000, would later gross well over $47 million in the US box office ticket sales. If Halloween was setting a trend for especially holiday horror-themed movies, you can count the Canon Films wanted in on this trend. New Year's Evil, directed by Emmett Alston, was also a USC film graduate, such as John Carpenter, and before that he served as a motion pictures officer in Air Force during Vietnam. During his career, Alston only made a total of 7 movies during the 1980s, which includes a Shao Kosugi film, 9 Deaths of the Ninja. He was originally slated to direct 1981's Enter the Ninja, but was bumped down to second unit, directing to Mayhem Golan could direct instead. So, to film New Year's Evil, Alston was only given $500,000 film budget, 3 weeks of pre-production time, and only 3 weeks to shoot. To complicate matters further, all this would be happening during the uneventful SAG-AFTRA strike of 1980. This meant that all union laborers associated with this film had to have their contracts signed ASAP. However, none of these factors seemed to slow down production of New Year's Evil. However, when Canon Films had enough of shooting, they were done with shooting and wrapped up production only 5 days before initial wrap. The film was later shot, edited in a few months, and released just in time for New Year's Eve. Well, It's a brand new year, and one of my resolutions is not to be led astray by another horror holiday themed film. Too late, I already got shit-faced watching Ooh, MGM looks like we're in a safe haven now, but then MGM was so cash-starved at this point that their motto was, "Come do business with us, we're easy." New Year's Evil was all set on some Dick Clark New Year's Rockin' Eve program titled The Hollywood Hotline, hosted by a music television VJ named Diana Sullivan, aka Blaze. Even before the show, she is getting all frostbitten with makeup straight out of the David Bowie Aladdin Sane collection. Our Night Stalker is off to a horrific start, with her assistant who looks more like the love child of Lenny Kravitz and Mario Van Peebles. But then again, what does dreads have to do with this? Then she is somehow vanquished by some unseen maintenance man McSlasher out on a routine plumbing check. Do not disturb while there is your problem. Do not disturb equates to getting shit done since 1978 according to Michael Myers' Steadicam lore. Maybe leaky faucets are just dripping water because they are bored. Don't worry, soon our gentleman killer will switch from no flow to gushing soon, because just like a racehorse, he will be off and running. It's to know that during the opening credits, we are tuned in to a nice cameo of the Turnbull ACs from the Warriors. Yeah, I think that clown car has reached its max weight capacity. I'm surprised it's not using the carpool lane. Diane is prepping for her big New Year's Eve program where she is greeted by her son, who is also a working actor.
Hello, Mom.
Derek.
I got some good news.
Oh, that's nice, honey.
Got a part in a new series.
Yeah, he's the lead actor in Hard Bodies. Well, this New Year's gig is cheaper than a strip club, so work it big, sonny.
Spaceship America.
Ah, Ernie, I just remembered I want to see those press releases Yvonne has before she passes them out. Got it? Okay.
It's really a good part.
Wonderful starting role you have chosen for yourself.
We start shooting next week.
What?
The series. My part.
Look, I tell you what, why don't you tell me all about it later? After the show, I'll take you out to dinner, okay?
It's more like chip and fail. Well, then go to Diane's show, and it's turning out to be quite the happening when you're getting your set decorations from the neon sign company where their motto is, "Your dream neon is here." It's more like all you need to do is laugh out loud and keep up with this New Year's Eve spirit. I'll call you later because I am having another. The whole premise behind the Hollywood Hotline scenes is to target callers to vote on their favorite new wave punk song of the year. Well, all in all, this film is turning out to be just another brick in the wall.
It's time to slam down and get even. It's time to spin out and boil your hair, you know? I want you to brace yourself for a night of high, solid energy. Now, tonight we are in stereo simulcast on the Rock, K-Rock FM. Now, this is your last chance to be bad before you make those New Year's resolutions. That's why we call our celebration New Year's Evil.
They say youth is the time of your life when you're allowed to stay up later on New Year's Eve. New Year's Evil, on the other hand, is when you're forced to.
Let's start our own celebration here, okay? With Shadow!
Diane finally receives the first call, and it's when we finally meet the killer.
Crazy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, Rays.
No, that can't be the killer. It's only someone coming down with laryngitis.
Ooh, some kind of voice you got there. Sound like the Phantom.
You could call me that.
On a side note, we were thinking a blunt force trauma to the voice box might make your voice a little less annoying.
So you got a name, Phantom?
Call me Evil.
Now that the killer has done giving the worst impression of Christian Bale suffering from a Batman vocal disorder, our party must play on. Our partygoers in the audience look like they are having a good time by their choreography being masterfully done by world-renowned choreographer No Direction.
Outside in the street you hear the cheers for you, my dear, from all the people.
So these must be the generic punk patch kids. At least someone out there is enjoying this Hollywood hotline broadcast. Nah, they're not mentally ill. They're just mentally hilarious. Yeah, I'm not so sure if punk rock is the vehicle for social change and revolution in this movie when the crazies are living in the moment. Unless the band is unpleasant, in which case they will sit in a corner and eat a cookie, groan, and scribble homicidal thoughts on scratch pad of paper. Is this therapy in the name of rock? Give me a hell yeah! At the Mental Institute, I presume we get a first glance at our killer. Worst timing ever. The killer dons a disguise as a doctor to blend in with the hospital staff and manages to strike a fancy with the nurse, whom is definitely not in her 30s.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm Jeff Winters. I'm sorry I'm late. They sent me over from county.
Well, we can sure use you. We're very short-handed, what with the holiday and all.
They say inside every 40-year-old is a 20-year-old wondering, what happened? Yeah, have a couple more and she will make a sudden and desperate attempts to appear sexy, youthful, and important.
Afraid I don't know my way around here yet.
I'll show you.
Including this.
Ah, for the love of alcohol.
Now, do you suppose we could find someplace private where we could share a glass of this before I punch in?
Backstage at the Hollywood hotline, she calls the cops. Huh?
This is Lieutenant Clayton and Sergeant Green, LAPD.
I'm a solo.
Oh yes, many illegal activities in progress here. Enter at your own risk.
What can we do for you?
Do for me? You can protect me. That's what you can do for me. Ernie, did you tell him about the call?
Oh, yes, I did.
Oh, yeah, he told us about it, Miss Sullivan, but frankly, if you'll excuse my saying so, you got to expect that from the type of audience you appeal to.
Yes, Blaze has identified someone appearing to be a killer, but are you feeling threatened yet? Is he a threat to your existence?
Close to me with threatened. Now, if you don't take that seriously, maybe we can find somebody in your department who will.
After this, after one call on a punk rock show on New Year's Eve, out of all times of the year, it's probably some crazed guy whom got into a fight with his date, called the hotline drunk, hanged up and cried while his date is off vomiting in the bathroom.
We take it seriously, but you people amaze me. Here you create a problem and then you complain about it.
Oh yeah, it's an everyday occurrence on New Year's Eve.
Oh.
What did you expect?
Hell of a way to bring in the new year, huh?
Aren't the cops going to be quite pleased when they find out the real reason the killer called was to plead to rid Pac-Man Fever off the airways for he's going out of his head? What else is going on at this party? Oh yeah, where have I been the last hour? Viewing punk shows, of course. notorious for that sweet Stevie Ray Vaughan blues riff. I guess our viewing audience needed a small reprieve from primetime epilepsy dancing. Seems like this crowd only knows seizures when it wants to shake things up. Is this part of the movie, or is the cameraman bottomed out? The killer then puts away the nurse, whom her co-workers later discovers her body. Now, I get why they call this ICU. The killer is not the only one going crazy with the runtime of this movie. Look at Blaze's son. What does he have to do? What does he have to be upset about? He'll be moving up from hard bodies to killer clowns in outer space. Never in this film industry have we ever conducted an interview with a film actor so devoid of any semblance of professionalism. Ha ha, you're hired. We find out that the objective of the killer is to murder someone each time zone that midnight strikes.
I just made my first kill, right on schedule. Midnight, Eastern Standard Time.
Why, you ask? To keep from laughing at your absurdly unattainable New Year's resolution.
And about that New Year's resolution you told me you were going to make, I mean, you were just driving me, weren't you?
No way.
But at least he's got a smoking John Holmes porn stash. This movie has hit a low point of let's not spend New Year's Eve trying to figure out where to spend New Year's Eve. Your decision has caused me to run lots of tears, lots of booze, but mostly lots of tears. God, you guys are so sad. So our killer, looking more like True Detective Colin Farrell, Public Enemy #1, picks up some random honeys.
Hi! I'm ready. I have to bring my roommate Lisa along.
You do?
Sure, you wouldn't want me to go out by myself with a total stranger, would you?
Couldn't agree with you more.
And soon enough, at least she showed common courtesy to help him gift wrap her death. Luckily, he managed to hit the road jack before the police turned up. This option should be available for cops everywhere. Curbside corpse pickup. In case we get a little too far into the movie, thank God we have the police to make some sense out of this.
Same MO, huh?
Thanks, Officer Obvious. You're dismissed.
That bastard got 2 more of them. Females, Caucasian. Slashed like the nurse.
It's all good. Killer is on schedule, and he's got time to kill. Sorry, shameless plug, but with time on his side, he gets into his priest costume and gets annoyed by a member of the Satan's Helpers MC Club.
Play me a patch, Padre!
Yeah, that's not good. Cycling unlocks their superpowers to be born to be wild. Why does he have to drive away that fast for, huh? You're in a car, an American muscle. The king of the jungle should roar, and Hulk smash them off the road, not whistle and screech into the night like a wimp. He manages to evade the biker gang just long enough to take shelter and park at a drive-in. Nice to know Canon is acknowledging that they are showing a bad movie within a bad movie. Here at Canon Films, we are all about lowering our standards of excellence.
Leave now, unless your heart can stand shock.
Not that things aren't that much better and hopping on the set of Hollywood Hotline.
Well, they sure are more fun and so easily cons. Dumb blunts.
Man, even the punk rockers are getting bored and dozing off melatonin. Well, otherwise they would have to deal with Blaze's son doing weird things to himself for no reason. Must be an unawareness to self-harm day. Do not ever doubt this detective's ability to allow us to follow his trail of bullshit that leads directly right into your mouth.
It looks like our creeps for real. They found the body, a nurse, carved up real bad, with deep lacerations around the neck and the chest. Now, when this guy says murder at midnight, he means midnight in each of the time zones all across the country. He's apparently using some kind of a voice processor.
The police then seal off the hotel, but the killer finds his way in by making a cop suck brick. Could Diane be the final victim of this New Year's Eve half-assed attempt of a massacre? Welcome, Captain Killer of the Motherfucking Obvious.
Oh, Richard, you scared me.
No, we are not surprised because the detective attempts to clue into Blaze's husband's whereabouts earlier in the film.
We definitely have to consider and prepare for the one possibility that he'll be right here at midnight Pacific Standard Time.
Why?
Because he has a compulsion to kill on the hour. It's a sequential drama with Miss Sullivan as the link.
While his son goes all off to pretty girls in panties, stockings, and garter belts, but when we see attempted asphyxiation by stockings, someone help me. God, her son is a tight ass. If Cannon wanted to be any more obvious about this revelation that came on faster than the speed of stupid 5 minutes into the film.
Officer, in case you're wondering who I am, I happen to be the lady's husband.
But anyway, he still wants Diane to be the final victim of the film to go out with an elevator bang. This then knocks out her and the cop, which leaves Diane all to herself. Nice to know we have a killer who's self-aware that he has been kind of a prick this whole time.
Listen to this.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Instant replay. Miracle of modern technology. That's right.
Now that's classic. I can roll with that.
Because I'm fed up. You are just like every other lady in my life. Derek told me about the way you behave around other men. Derek also told me about the way you try to turn on your own son, and that is not nice.
He then chains Diane to the elevator and gives her the Disney Studios Tower of Terror ride of her life. Still, this is just as bad as Chris Brown's marriage to Rihanna. Once the cops stumble upon this comedy cavalcade of horrors, it leads to the chase to the rooftop. Yeah, put the mask on, but still, that can't save you from suffering from the obvious.
Freeze! Put the gun down. Slowly.
Cannon, you have broken new ground on the first ever horror film where the rules of the killer's mask are asked backwards. Please just jump already by climbing up the height of your ego and jumping down to this film's IQ level. Yes, we have to sneak in just one little scene of the son losing it, otherwise his subplot would have been rendered completely extinct. Heh heh. A canon sequel that never got made, taking a sucker for a film investor for all they're worth. Now that's Canon Films. The film performed poorly at the box office, but you can't blame the critics when the horror film market was oversaturated with holiday horror movies. Canon Films always assures that their pre-sale arrangements kept them from coming ahead with strong financial success, even though not many of the New Year's Eve crowd crawled out of their champagne bottles to watch. Canon was dealt a hard lesson that simply setting a horror movie on a holiday doesn't translate to a dollar bill, y'all. So, the trend faded for now. Stay tuned.
Canon Films presents an outstanding lineup of films for major filmmakers, major stars, major motion pictures.